Every photographer at some point in their photography experience goes through something, an event or something that changes in their life that makes them switch up their photography, do things differently, and keeps them inspired to keep on moving forward. And for me, this event was that event for me, and let's talk about it in this video. What's up, y'all? It's Project Photography by another video, and today, So about a few weeks ago, I went to the Orange County Fair here in Southern California. It's this big state fair with a bunch of good foods, has incredible rides, and so on, but they also have a photo contest. And for me, I've always been interested to see what that photo contest looked like, and this is the first time that I actually got to go and see the actual photos and images that people took. I was very impressed by a lot of different photos that were taken. A lot of them were street, landscape, wildlife, nature, and so on. But what got me more interested in this particular event was seeing the wildlife and the nature and the macro shots they were able to take with the incredible talents that these photographers had. And for me, that was something that really inspired me to change the way I look at photography. It just showed me that there's so much that the world has to offer. But as a lot of you may or may not know, I actually did wildlife and nature photography for quite some time. That was actually one of the first niches of photography that I jumped into to help me get started in my photography career. The first photos I took were just in my backyard, in my local neighborhood, shooting landscape, nature, and wildlife. And I really loved doing it because I was able to experience the world, showcase, what I like to do as a photographer in terms of nature and macro and landscape and so on, and it just felt like it was something that really made me enjoy going out and shooting. But as of recently, closer to recent at least, I started to move away from nature and wildlife about a few years ago, and I moved more towards street photography because for me, I was going to school in San Francisco, and being here in SoCal as well, there's more opportunities for street photography and that sort of thing rather than wildlife and nature photography. And for me, it wasn't a switch that I was necessarily inspired by. It was more of a convenience factor, something that I could just go do photography whenever I want, because shooting really good wildlife and nature photography is not necessarily the easiest thing. You have to be in an area that allows you to do that. You have to have wildlife preserves around you. You have to have really nice scenery and greenery, and the Los Angeles area isn't necessarily the best place to do that. But I really never felt inspired by street photography. It was just something that I did because of a convenience factor. I did it because my friends did, not because I truly enjoyed and wanted to do street. And I quickly learned that through this photo contest, because I feel like when I was looking at the images, they were just awe-inspiring. They made me just want to go out and shoot photos. They made me want to change up the way I was doing things. It made me realize why I got into photography in the first place, and it's to share my experience with the world with everybody. And I really think photography is about sharing your experience as a photographer, showing people and showcasing the kind of art that you create, how you experience life as a whole. And for me, I never really experienced life through a street setting. I was very much an outdoor nature type person. I loved being outside, being in the outdoors, hiking, looking at wildlife, going to these different national parks and different areas where there is a lot of nature. That is my forte. That's what I really love to do and see and travel and experience. And for me, the reason why I had to jump away from it is just because I felt like it wasn't something that was as convenient. But photography is never necessarily the most convenient thing on earth. You have to really go out there, strive to get the photos that you want and the image that you take. And for me, I just experience the world so much more through nature, and it's a big reason why I love doing landscape photography. For me, experiencing the world is going out to the beaches, going out to those mountains and experiencing the world, the beauty that nature has to offer by itself without any sort of mankind sort of intervention. It was just beautiful on its own, and was something that I really loved to enjoy doing when I was back in Hawaii this past a few weeks. And the world just has so much beauty that I think it has to offer. And I want to showcase that beauty to people who might not have access to these sorts of resources and environments, because this truly is a beautiful thing. Mother Nature created this beautiful world for us to experience firsthand. And without human intervention, this world will be very, very different. And that's something that I really want to showcase to a lot of people. This is why I want to get back into wildlife and nature, because those are the two niches that I actually originally did before even doing street photography. It's simply inspiring. It makes you want to go out and take photos of things that you might not be able to see with the human eye, things you might not be able to appreciate by itself in a vacuum. And I really feel like nature and wildlife is just something that I really love to do. Showcasing nature and wildlife is just closer to my human experience. It's closer to what I love to do. It's closer to how I live my life and so on. And I always just felt way more inspired and closer to those niches as a whole. I love seeing the wildlife. I love seeing the nature. I love seeing what this world has to offer by itself. And that's a big reason why my slogan for this channel is experience the world with me today. And I think that's what I really want to bring back and showcase. And I think what I'm gonna do is start to move away from my street stuff. So probably selling my 50mm, some of those other lenses I cater more towards street photography. And if I ever want to do it, I do have my 24-70 and it creates amazing photos, but I'm not gonna center my gear around that sort of niche anymore. I think centering more around wildlife and macro and nature and so on is much more appropriate. And that means for me, you know, selling off those pieces of gear to get something like a Nikon Z105 f2.8. That is an incredible macro lens and something that I really want to test out. I know that lens has gotten a lot of raving reviews, and that's something I'm definitely going to be picking up in the near future. And it's honestly perfect for my, you know, video work as well. I'm definitely always closer to subjects, and I never feel like I get that quite good distance away. I always feel like I'm too far back and so on. But I'm going to be moving away from street, moving more towards wildlife and nature. I already have the 200 to 500, and when they come out with a 200 600 next, that's going to be definitely the next thing I pick up. But anyways, guys, that is pretty much it for today. I just want to give a little update how this photography event inspired me to go back to my roots as a photographer, and it changed my photography forever. It's going to change it forever. I'm not sure if I want to actually post these photos on my Instagram, but let me know what you want to see in terms of the content about wildlife and nature. Do you guys want to see, you know, bird and flight videos? Do you guys want to see those sort of POV photos opportunities? And I feel like it'd be really interesting to go up there and actually shoot that kind of photography for you guys, if that's something you're interested in. If not, we'll just take the landscape and Nikon Z videos. Just let me know down in the comment section down below. I can experiment with it always. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for experiencing the world with me today. Let me know what you thought about this video down in the comment section down below. And what is an event that inspired you to change the way that you shoot photography? Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one.